name is Savannah Blake, 28 years old, and I learned long ago that silence can slice deeper than words. The last time my family celebrated my birthday, I was 19. After that, year after year, nothing. No texts. No cake. Not even a lazy, happy birthday scribbled on Facebook. At first I told myself they were busy. Then I convinced myself I didn't care. But the truth? Every year it cut a little deeper, like watching candles get blown out in a house that wasn't mine. I gave everything to them. Babysitting when my sister wanted freedom. Covering bills when dad's excuses got thin. Taking mom to appointments when she swore no one else had time. And every year when my day came, radio silence. They forgot, or worse, they remembered and ignored. Both felt like poison. But this year, everything was different. I wasn't 19 anymore, crying into grocery store wine in a shoebox apartment. I was 28, with a bonus large enough to change everything. So instead of waiting for a text that would never come, I wrote one check. A down payment. On a lake house. My lake house. The kind of home with glass walls that caught the sunrise and a dock that stretched like a promise into the water. On my birthday morning, I didn't wait for calls. I posted 3 photos. Me on the dock, the keys in my hand, the reflection of the sky in the windows. Caption. Birthday gift. To myself. By noon, my phone lit up like it never had in 9 years. 37 missed calls. 6 voicemails. 1 text from my sister. Please pick up the phone. We need to talk. But I wasn't done yet. Not even close. The first voicemail was from Mom. Her voice syrupy sweet, pretending she hadn't told me for years that birthdays are childish after 18. Savannah, honey, we just saw your post. That house is wow. Call us back, okay? We want to celebrate with you. Celebrate. The word tasted bitter. 9 years of silence, and now they suddenly remembered the definition. The next voicemail was Dad, his tone already edged with entitlement. Savannah, where did you get the money for that place? Don't do anything stupid. Call me back before you regret it. But it was my sister's text that made me laugh. Not the forced apology or sudden interest, but the desperation behind it. Please pick up the phone. We need to talk.
We.
Not her.
Not me. We.
By evening, I was sitting on the lake dock with my bare feet in the water, wine glass in hand, watching the sun bleed orange into the horizon. My phone buzzed again. This time a video call. My sister. I let it ring until it cut off. Seconds later, a message. How could you buy something like that without telling us? Do you have any idea what people will think? And that was it. That single sentence told me everything I needed to know.
She didn't care about me.
She didn't care about 9 years of forgotten candles. She cared about optics, about what the neighbors might whisper, about how my success made her mediocrity impossible to ignore. I typed one sentence back. It wasn't for you to know, or for you to share. Then I locked my phone, leaned back on the dock, and let the silence fill every space they had left empty in me. But I knew it wasn't over. Not yet. The next morning, I woke to pounding on my gate. At first, I thought it was the delivery man bringing furniture for the new house. But when I peeked through the blinds, my stomach tightened. There they were. My parents, my sister, and even her husband. Faces flushed, arms crossed, as if they were the ones wronged. Savannah. Mom shouted up the driveway. Open the door. This is ridiculous. We're family. Family. That word again. Thrown like a rock through glass. Where was family when I blew out candles alone year after year? Where was it when I begged for help with college bills and they told me to be more like your sister? I didn't move. I let them pound. Let them stew in their sudden urgency. My phone lit up with another text from Dad. We're outside. We're not leaving until you let us in. Finally, after 20 minutes of their noise echoing through the trees, I opened the second-story window and leaned out, calm as the lake behind me. You forgot me for 9 years, I said, voice steady. I guess I forgot to invite you in. The silence that followed was beautiful. My sister's husband shifted uncomfortably, muttering something about the neighbors watching. My sister hissed at him to shut up. Mom looked like she might faint, and Dad's jaw clenched so tightly I could hear his teeth grind from above. "Savannah, stop being dramatic," Mom finally barked. "That house is too big for you alone. We can help you manage it. It's what's best for all of us." There it was, the real reason. Not love. Not guilt.
Control.
I smiled. "Then you'd better start managing your disappointment. Because this place doesn't recognize your name." And I closed the window. That night, I sat on the deck overlooking the water, the moon glowing like silver paint on the rippling surface. My phone buzzed again. Dozens of unread messages, a group chat that had been silent for years suddenly roaring back to life. My sister. "Savannah, come on. Don't be cruel. We just want to celebrate with you." Mom. "We made mistakes, but you can't hold grudges forever. Let us in." Dad. "We're not leaving until we talk. Answer the door." I let the screen dim and placed it face down. Their words didn't pull at me like they once would have. In fact, they rang hollow. Cheap coins tossed into a fountain, hoping to buy back years they had thrown away. Then came the call. My boss. "Savannah." His voice carried warmth. "Did you get my email? Your project just landed us a major client. The bonus is confirmed. 6 figures, already in your account." I laughed softly, shaking my head at the timing. Here I was, finally seeing how wealth and recognition attracted those who once dismissed me. My so-called family banging at my gate, while the people who believed in me, people I had chosen, were the ones celebrating my success. When I hung up, I walked back inside, poured myself a glass of wine, and turned on the security cameras. There they were, still camped outside like beggars who had lost their kingdom. My sister paced, her husband smoked, my mom whispered angrily at my dad. For years, I dreamed of being accepted. Now, I didn't crave their approval. I wanted them to feel the sting of absence, the chill of being locked out. And for the first time, I realized, maybe revenge wasn't loud. Maybe it was just silence and steel gates that never opened. The next morning, I woke up to pounding on the lake house gate. Through the monitor, I saw my sister clutching balloons and a half-melted cake. Mascara streaked down her face. Mom shouted into the camera, her voice cracking. "Savannah, please. You're humiliating us. The neighbors can see." Neighbors. That word made me smile. For 9 years, I was invisible, forgotten on birthdays, dismissed at holidays, erased in family photos. But now, their fear wasn't about me. It was about appearances. About the image they carefully curated being shattered by the reality I had chosen to expose. I brewed my coffee slowly, letting their pleas echo outside, and finally opened the intercom. My voice was steady, calm, almost cold. "Do you remember my 21st birthday? I waited at home, cake melting on the counter. Nobody came. You said you lost track of time. That was the year I stopped believing you'd ever remember me." Silence outside. Now, I continued. "This house, this life, this peace. None of you had a hand in it. You don't get to share it. Not now. Not ever." My sister burst into tears, slamming her fist against the gate. "You're cruel, Savannah. Family forgives." I tilted my head, sipping my coffee. Family doesn't forget birthdays for 9 years straight. Family doesn't show up only when money's on the table. The balloons slipped from her grip, floating upward, disappearing into the sky. They all stood frozen, faces pale, eyes wide, like they were seeing me for the first time. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just pressed the button, turned off the camera feed, and let silence wrap around me like a shield. For once, I wasn't the forgotten one. I was unforgettable. The calls didn't stop. By evening, my phone showed over 80 missed calls. Voicemails poured in, first angry, then pleading, then desperate. My brother's voice cracked through one. "Savannah, you're tearing this family apart. Just answer, okay?" I leaned back in my chair, watching the sun sink behind the lake, its golden reflection dancing across the water. The peace here was priceless, and no apology, real or fake, could ever buy it back. Then came a message from Mom.
"Fine.
If you won't answer, we'll come back with the lawyer. That house was supposed to be ours.
Ours.
That single word almost made me laugh. For years, I was theirs only when it was convenient. The quiet, obedient daughter who could be ignored without consequence. But when money or property was involved, suddenly I was family again. I opened my laptop and pulled up the deed. My name, Savannah Carter, was printed in bold. The ink was dry, the purchase final. This house wasn't theirs, wasn't shared, wasn't up for debate. That night, as the moon rose, I typed a single post and hit publish. Family doesn't forget for nearly a decade. Family doesn't remember only when there's something to take. Today, I choose myself. And I'll keep choosing myself. Within hours, my phone buzzed with messages, not from family, but from old friends, colleagues, even strangers who read between the lines. Their words poured in. Proud of you.
Brave.
Inspiring. For the first time in years, I felt seen.
Truly seen.
And when my sister texted again, please, Savannah, let's talk. We'll make it right. I stared at the screen for a long moment before powering the phone off. The silence was freedom. The next morning, pounding rattled the lake house door. Voices carried through the wood, angry, demanding. Savannah, open up. Mom's tone was sharp, the same commanding voice she used when I was a teenager, when I was expected to obey without question. I didn't move. I let the echo of their fists fade into the stillness of the house. Minutes later, my sister's voice joined in, high-pitched and frantic. Please, we just need to talk. You don't understand what you're doing. Oh, but I did. I understood perfectly. For years, they left me to celebrate my birthdays alone, excusing it with half-hearted apologies, or worse, silence. They had celebrated each other with grand parties, cakes, vacations, while I faded into the background. Now they wanted to be heard, to be recognized, to be acknowledged. Through the glass, I watched them pacing on the porch, faces red with rage and panic. My brother shouted about family bonds, Dad threatened legal action, and Mom cried, insisting they were just overwhelmed all those years. I let the scene play out like a private performance. And then, without opening the door, I walked calmly to the garage, pressed the button, and rolled out in my car. As I drove past, their heads whipped around. My mom ran toward the car, waving her arms, screaming my name. My sister clutched her phone, dialing someone frantically. I slowed the car just enough to lower the window, my voice cutting through the cold winter air. You all had 9 years to remember me. 9 years to show up. Today, I remember myself.
Goodbye.
I rolled the window back up and pressed the accelerator, leaving their voices behind. The road ahead felt like the first true birthday gift I'd ever received. I returned to the lake house that evening, the sky painted in shades of violet and gold. The quiet lapping of water against the shore was the only sound. No pounding on the door. No calls. Just silence. Inside, I opened a bottle of wine and sat by the fireplace. My phone lay on the table, buzzing every few minutes, calls, texts, voicemails stacking up one after another. I didn't bother listening. I already knew what they would say. Savannah, you're overreacting. Family doesn't abandon family. You're selfish. But selfish?
No.
For once, I was free. I scrolled through my own post again, the picture of the lake house glimmering under soft lights, the caption etched beneath. Birthday gift. To myself. Thousands of likes and comments had poured in, strangers cheering me on, reminding me I wasn't invisible. That validation wasn't the point, but it was sweet all the same. A knock came at the door. Not fists, not shouting. Just a quiet, hesitant tap. My sister's voice floated in, soft, trembling. Please, can we come in? We'll make it right this time. I promise. I stared at the door. For a moment, I almost moved, habit tugging at me to forgive, to give them yet another chance. But then I remembered. 9 birthdays, 9 years of silence, 9 years of proof. I turned back to the fire, lifted my glass, and whispered into the flames. Some doors stay closed. My phone lit up again. Another call. I reached out, pressed the side button, and powered it off. The house was quiet. My heart was steady. For the first time in years, I celebrated not with them, but for me.